Did Benny Hinn raise someone from the dead? Let's talk about it. This is a video by Mike Winger where he basically takes down Benny Hinn from the multiple sources of evidence throughout the many years that he's been doing his stuff. All the lies, all the uncompleted prophecies, the stuff about raising the dead and other things. And maybe I'll split these up. Maybe they'll be in the same video. We'll see how it plays out. But look at this section. Benny Hinn claims he raised the dead.
First, let's talk briefly about Benny raising the dead. Here's an interesting claim that Benny made, again showing old lies, but I wanted to let it be its own separate little section. It's very brief. But there was a time when Benny claimed that there was a resurrection or someone raised from the dead at one of his meetings. Check this out. And it's a whole drama.
I was in Ghana just recently. We had 500,000 people show up, and a man was raised from the dead on the platform. That's a fact, people.
Okay, 500,000 people. That's a pretty big number. 500,000 people. He said there was a man on the platform that was raised from the dead. That's a fact.
People show up, and a man was raised from the dead on the platform. That's a fact, people. That's a fact. A man was raised from the dead on the platform. We have it on video.
For 3 months,
That is a fact. We have it on video. That's what he says. That was a fact. We have it on video.
Consistently requested an interview with Pastor Hinn about that claim and others. But the only interview we were granted was with the executive producer of his TV show, who admits there is no videotape of a man being raised from the dead.
We were repeating a story that we had heard that we did not actually have proof of.
That was a mistake in retrospect.
Wait, so who is this man? This is Benny Hinn's spokesman. We were repeating a story that we heard, and we had no proof of it. That's what he's saying.
We did not actually have proof of.
That was a mistake in retrospect.
I would say that was a mistake.
That was a mistake.
I would say that was a mistake. They repeated something they heard they didn't have proof of. Oh, well, I guess, you're sharing miracle stories and stuff like that. I mean, when Benny Hinn said it, it sounded like it happened when he was there. It sounded like it happened at his event. It sounded like they had videotape of it that he knew about personally. That wouldn't be a story. But, Jeff Pittman, being the highly informed individual that he is, explains they were just repeating a story that they had heard. Is that real? Is that true? No, that's not true. Here is a clip from Benny that seems way later. Seems years later from what I can tell. I don't have a date for it, but it's not 1996, I think. It's like years later. It's not 1992. It's years later from the look of Benny Hinn and the quality of the camera and all that. And look at how he describes the event, which I would say seems to be after his own spokesman said it never happened and that they had made a mistake.
I was in Ghana just recently.
How can I forget the man in Ghana? It so shook the country that the president called me in the next day to talk to me. They brought this man and laid him on the platform in front of me. He was dead. A crowd of, I'd say 200,000, 300,000 were there. They laid that man in front of me. I did not know he was dead. I thought he had fainted. The man was just laying on the platform and I'm ministering to other people. Now when they laid him down, the crowds began to wail and cry out. And I'm praying for a lady. I will never forget this as long as I live. I was laying hands on a lady that was healed of arthritis. When suddenly the crowds began to cheer loud.
You can tell he's lying about this. Like, this is I caught a fish this big, and just the story gets bigger and bigger and bigger. It's like 200,000, and he lays him down, and all the crowds begin to wail as if 200,000 people can even see what's happening on the stage or recognize the guy or know who it is. And I don't know how they all knew, and they're all wailing and crying. But it clearly isn't a story he heard. He was there.
Yeah, his spokesman says this is just a story. It's very interesting because you might be saying, no, maybe that's just what his spokesman said. Why would his spokesman lie about that? Why wouldn't he say, we don't have the video, but I believe it. Benny believes it. This happened. And if you guys don't believe it, just look at the many other things that he does, and you'll see that if he can do that, then he can do this. Why doesn't he say that? That would have been the totally fine answer. That guy was a media-trained spokesman. There's a reason why he didn't say it, and it's because it didn't happen. It did not happen, and he knows it didn't happen.
It happened as he's praying for somebody with some other minor issue. Then there's this resurrection behind, almost I don't know, the power of God is so great in Benny, it just spills out of his rear end and he resurrects people from the dead.
And I'm thinking to myself, it's only arthritis. What I could not see or tell because my back was turned. The dead man began to move. While I am ministering to the lady with arthritis, he just gets up and shakes himself. God raised him from the...
This is why he does it, that lady right there. He wants her to believe in him. To believe in him.
dead while on the platform.
That is so crazy. That is so crazy to look at, man. So there's two instances. One of them, he goes, there's 500,000 people. And then the later on, he goes 200, 300,000 people. And then he says, again, this is a fact. This happened. This is absolutely a fact. We have video to prove it. The video never comes out. Spokesman says, no, that's just a story we heard. We shouldn't have said that. That was a mistake that he said that. Years later, he's still sharing that story saying, I brought this man back to life from the dead. They laid a dead man who had been dead on the platform. And then I was healing somebody else, and he just miraculously gets up, shakes himself off. The entire crowd of 500,000 people or 250,000 people begins to wail. They all see this man. Apparently, he was known by that many people, 200, 300,000. Who was the guy? Was he the president of the country? And then he's purporting it like he was there. He did it. He found out what was going on right afterwards. Again, and it clearly did not happen. Isn't it crazy how, you have a resurrection of the dead. You have a resurrection of the dead. And you lost the video. You lost the video. You just brought a man back to life. And you couldn't save the videotape. You revived the breath in his lungs. The blood is beating through his heart again. The brain waves are active. In the film, in the cassette tape that recorded that, just couldn't make it. That couldn't survive? You mean to tell me, again, it's so crazy. I'm supposed to believe that he raised someone up from the dead. But just, the video, man. It's like the same, they use the same camera that with the Zapruder film and when you record Bigfoot. And it just, man, somehow something happened. But hey, here's some good news. Here's some good news. He lost the video. He lost the video. But he's still alive. And he's been doing his stuff for decades. So show me at least like 3 or 4 other instances where he rose someone from the dead on video. I mean, come on. The video died that one time. I'll cut you once. I'll cut you the slack for that one time. But let's see the video today. Someone please send me a video of a dude who got his body chopped in half. And then someone stands and prays for him. And then everything just fuses back together. He's back to life. Show me that video. Show me the guy like Lazarus. He's been in the tomb for days. And then someone goes with a known dead man. We can see his dead body rotting away. Someone goes and brings him back. Show me that video. Again, Benny Hinn, he says he does this stuff. Show me the video, man. I want to see it. All right, you say, all right, well, Benny Hinn's a liar. But it's people do that stuff. Show me the video. We live in 2024. When you read passages in the Bible that talk about healing that happens in history, you have these kinds of words. Men of Israel, hear these words. Jesus of Nazareth, a man attested or approved by God to you by miracles, wonders, and signs which God did through him in your midst, as you yourselves also know. He's saying this is absolutely not debatable. This is absolutely undoubtable. Jesus did all of these things. You can't deny that. Jesus did all that stuff. You can't deny it. They saw it happen. Now, in the age of cameras, if people are doing all these miracles, if people really are bringing people back from the dead, if miracles still happen, then resurrections can still happen. If people are really doing this stuff, curing complete and total lifelong blindness with just the power of one single prayer, man, show me the video. Show me the video. I really need to see it, man. But so much of those spectacular things that we see, what a shocker that the videos get lost, or they're done by guys like Benny Hinn. They're done by guys whose socks are more than my mortgage. But let me know what you think, man. I'll just be straight up. I'm not a charismatic. I don't believe in that stuff. I'm a cessationist, and I could make an argument. It's way easier for me to make an argument that those things have ceased than it is for Benny Hinn to argue that he rose that guy from the dead. I'll even say this. It's easier for me to make the argument that those things have ceased from what the Bible says than it is for any charismatic to raise someone from the dead, or to do what Paul did and strike someone with lifelong blindness, like in Acts chapter 13. Where's that? Where's the video on that? I really want to see it. Let me know, though. I'm not trying to be combative. I'm honestly just for the sake of showing the difference here and what the Bible says and making a strong point with a strong example. I'm open to the discussion. And I'm making that point again with a strong thing. I don't want to be disrespectful. Don't want to be rude, but I really am curious to know what you guys think about this. Let me know if you're a charismatic, Pentecostal, whatever it might be, how I got this one wrong. If I did it all, what do you think about Benny Hinn? I'm very curious to hear what other charismatics think about Benny Hinn. Please let me know. Like the video, subscribe to the channel, and consider supporting on Patreon. If you want to support on Patreon, you can get a weekly Q&A with me, more private, more exclusive. You get video submissions. If you say, hey, Marco, here's a video. I want you to do a video on this. Here's someone being risen from the dead. Now, checkmate, right? You can do that there, all that kinds of stuff. And you get every single video that I do, like this one, extended longer. Love you. God bless you. Talk to you soon. Goodbye.